Now, the former leader of the English Defence League, Tommy Robinson, raided the offices of the anti-extremism think tank Quilliam earlier this week, claiming that one of the organisation's authors had labelled him a white supremacist. Quilliam ejected Mr Robinson and the cameraman who was with him, and they've made a complaint to the police. We're going to be talking to Tommy Robinson and Haras Rafiq of Quilliam in a moment. Let's have a look at the footage of the incident filmed for the online channel Rebel Media.
So today we're going to an organisation called Quilliam, and the reason I'm going there is one of their leading researchers, a lady called Julia. She's wrote an article yesterday in The Guardian where she declares I'm a white supremacist. Can't bang her up.
So you haven't got an appointment?
No.
Okay, so do you mind coming this way?
All right.
This way?
Yeah.
Come.
You don't want to talk? No. Hi, how you doing? Julia? Hi. Do you mind if I ask how I'm a white supremacist?
I did not say that you are a white supremacist at any... No, I did not say that. You can read the exact article.
Why are you trying to break his camera? Why are you trying to break his camera? Why are you trying to break his camera? Why are you trying to break... Why have you broke his camera? Let's go upstairs and talk. Come on, Julia.
And Haras Rafiq, the Chief Executive of Quilliam, joins us now, as does Tommy Robinson. Mr Robinson, let me come to you first. I mean, you often complain that you're portrayed as much more extreme than you say you are. But do you think bursting into an office like that and ending up in a bit of a fracas helps in the kind of image you want to portray?
The doors were open. I was very polite. I walked in with one cameraman and asked a simple question. Now, bearing in mind that the lady in her article had called me a white supremacist, in the last 2 weeks I've had to go to 4 different companies' premises who have all run headlines that are complete lies. And this, for me, this isn't just about me. This is about people who support me. It's about working class people at home who have been pigeonholed as extremists, as racist, as far right, when they're not. They're genuine concerns and fears.
Quilliam's purpose, though, is to counter extremism. Shouldn't you really be on the same side if you are what you say you are?
If Quilliam is what they say they are. Now, the Quilliam's named after a man who was pro-caliphate, who wanted polygamy, who supported the Maha, who were fighting in Sudan, who were a caliphate organisation, the same as ISIS. Which I have to ask questions as to why Quilliam's named after him. Why is it not named after true reformers? Mohammed Taha, who was killed in 1985, he's a true reformer who wanted to take the extremism, the violence out of the Quran.
But you don't doubt it does a lot of work to promote moderation, do you?
Well, it seems that only people in that office who wear shirts and ties are allowed to have an opinion. Everyone else is called far right or extremist.
But, you know, you've had group photos you've attended rallies, you've tweeted endorsements of groups like Britain First.
I've reported on a Britain First demonstration, as I've reported on Muslim demonstrations. I'm now doing reporting for Rebel Media, so of course I'm going to go to these organisations. I'm going to try and the reason I'm going, and I have to go, is because the truth is not being relayed to the people at home. The mainstream media, whether it be the BBC, they're all reporting fake news. They're lying to people. Quilliam, since this has happened, Quilliam have come out lying to people about what happened. And when the video goes online, it shows the complete opposite. I was not there bullying. I was not intimidating. I was asking a simple question, and the reason I'd done that...
But you were trespassing.
Trespassing. There was no keep out signs. It was an open door and an open office. I walked into the office. Now, if we want to talk about that, I think we should be talking about what that lady said.
Well, let me come to that in a minute. But you recently retweeted a Britain First video about fake news, media lies and distortion. That, by association, it does associate you with an extremist group.
I recently retweeted an article on ISIS. It doesn't associate me with them.
Well, was the article pro-ISIS?
No, it was showing the facts about ISIS.
Right. Well,
this video was showing the facts about the media's lies about what's happening on our streets.
It's the facts as seen by a hard right group.
But that's nothing to do with me. Again, I'm not here to talk about that. I'd be here to talk about myself and the demonisation of people like me by liberal elitists, by media, a campaign that's gone on for 8 years. In the last 2 weeks, if I've had to go to 4 properties...
No, you said that.
Because this has gone on for 10 years against me.
Right, let me come to Haras Rafiq. On this Guardian comment piece, you effectively did call him a white supremacist.
Okay. Let me clarify something now. The Quilliam position on Tommy, whether he's a white supremacist or not. Quilliam and Tommy knows me, he's been to my house, he's had dinner with my family, he knows I am not somebody who has a vendetta against him, and he knows actually what I stand for, so I'm surprised that as Chief Executive it says Quilliam stands for something else. But Tommy is not a white supremacist. The Quilliam position is not that Tommy is a white supremacist. Now, coming to the article, An article was written by somebody. I wasn't aware.
Senior researcher at Quilliam.
Article written by somebody. The processes need to be changed that I vet everything now, from now on.
Did you not vet this?
No, I didn't. I didn't know.
Can I just let our viewers know
Sure.
what was said? What this woman, Julie Ebner, wrote for The Guardian was, the far right has moved from the fringe into the mainstream. It demonstrates massive support that white supremacist movements have attracted. Their online followership often exceeds that of mainstream political parties. And then immediately says, Tommy Robinson's Twitter account has almost the same numbers as Theresa May's. So, I mean, although she didn't write Tommy Robinson is a white supremacist, it would be hard to come to any other conclusion when you read the logic, the chronology of that article.
Okay, let me again reiterate the position. Tommy Robinson is not a white supremacist as far as Quilliam's concerned. Reading that article, and by the way, Tommy could have rang me and we could have sorted this out, so that's a different issue, and we are in touch now, and probably we will sort it out. The article was not meant, I've spoken to the author, the article was not meant to say he's a white supremacist. It could have been worded better, absolutely. It was meant to say, according to her, that Tommy has followers, as many organisations do as well, who are not white supremacists and will attract people who are white supremacists because sometimes they will feel attracted to a message, not necessarily his fault.
Right. So it was clumsily worded, is the
I think it should have been worded better differently, but it was not meant to, and my reading of it was not to say that Tommy is a white supremacist.
So there he has, he said live on network television, he doesn't think you're a white supremacist.
And I'm the head of Quilliam.
Everyone knows I'm not a white supremacist. The problem is that this was wrote in order to demonise, slander and stigmatise people who are criticising Islam. That's what this was wrote for.
No, it wasn't.
And that's not just about me, that's about people who support me, which is frustrating because for me, I meet people in the street who don't like me and they don't know why they don't like me. When they don't like me, I get attacked regularly. And when I get down to talking to them, one person who actually attacked me, I went to his house and spoke to him, and everything he thought I stood for, I didn't stand for. And that's because of articles like this.
Right.
But Andrew,
that's fake news.
Yes. But just before I come back to you, but do you accept what he now says? I mean, because he's made it pretty clear he doesn't think what the article implies.
There is no way that article was not wrote to imply that. That was wrote to dehumanise. In that article, it says that the far right dehumanise Muslims so they can be violently attacked. Exactly what she's just done to me. In the article, she dehumanised me as standing for something I'm not.
Okay.
Haras Rafiq.
I've made the Quilliam official position very clear. I'm chief executive Quilliam. Julia Ebner isn't. So we'll move on from there.
Am I an extremist, Harris?
Sorry?
Am I an extremist?
I've never called you an extremist.
Could you correct Majid Nawaz, who yesterday went out and told everyone that I'm an extremist? Can we also correct that I didn't raid any office? All of these things, and these are lies. These are lies from a so-called government-funded counter-extremist
Well,
think tank.
first of all, it's not government-funded, and that's a lie. It's not government-funded, and you know it isn't. Number one. Number two is that going into an office uninvited, being asked to leave, trespassing for a political grievance is political extremism. No, it is. It is. By definition, ridiculous. It is. It is.
I would have left if
secondly, emulating tactics that al-Muhajirun have used in the past, Britain firstly used, other organisations have used, sets a dangerous precedent.
Emulating tactics by asking a simple question. If journalists are going to lie,
if you finish, then I'll come to you.
Yeah. Emulating tactics of going to... I mean, these people, there were people at the office yesterday, when it happened, women who'd never met Tommy, and guys who were genuinely scared.
It did look a bit scary.
Generally scared because of the lies that people like this
they were
scared
because you and your cameraman came in and you were forcing a mic uninvited, unexpected, into somebody's face on private property. And the point is, Tommy, had you rang me, and I did call you, I called you, and it's on the video. I said to you, Tommy, wait for me. It's on the video. People are going to go on there and can see it. Wait for me. Tommy, please let me finish. I said to you very calmly, and I'm saying it again now, the offer there to sort this out. I said to you very calmly on the phone, Tommy, I'm at a meeting. I'll be there. You're here. You've travelled all the way down from Luton. There's a coffee shop nearby. Wait for me, I'll come and sort this. This could have been sorted then.
Hundreds of thousands of people through The Guardian have read this article that says this.
Well, do you want it sorted?
You would not. Yeah, I do want it sorted.
Right, well, then we'll sort it.
But you wouldn't be having this conversation if I didn't come into your office.
If you'd have called me...
He said he was going to have a coffee with you.
Afterwards, which I sent you my number.
But
I mean, this was a pretty good publicity stunt.
No, this was before. Majid Nawaz, I had to ring up. To get on Majid's radio show, I had to ring up and use a fake name. Straight afterwards...
Nothing to do with Quilliam, that's LBC.
And what Majid said afterwards was, I wouldn't have took the call if I knew it was Tommy Robinson. So do I expect he's going to sit down and talk to me?
Imagine,
No, he's
I'm
not.
the chief executive of Quilliam. You know that.
Okay.
I've had you at my house, Tommy.
Let me ask you, I want to bring Tim Marshall because he's been listening. We'll get him to be the umpire.
Magic should have been here, or Julia should have been here. I don't know.
No, I'm the head. I'm the head.
But let me ask you this. You say you're not an extremist, but were you an extremist?
No, I've never been an extremist, ever.
Were you not a member of the BNP at one stage?
No, we've gone through this.
No, that's what I'm trying to remember.
We've done this in 2000.
Weren't you a member at one stage?
I was a member when I joined because of what was happening in my town in 2009.
Right. That's quite an extremist organisation.
Didn't you
so you were an extremist?
No, I wasn't an extremist. Majid Nawaz was in jail.
How could you be a member of the BNP and not be an extremist?
Wasn't it
because I was 21 years old and I joined the organisation.
You may be young and foolish, but
and I
it
found
still
out
made
about
you an
myself.
extremist.
And while you're on that subject, justiceforchelsea.com. People need to sign into that because English girls across our country are being raped at the hands of...
Right. Well, this is all right. You can't use us for that.
Can I just correct something? Can I just correct something?
Very briefly, and I want just
Majid was not in prison for terrorism. He was a political prisoner.
Was Majid an extremist?
He was an extremist. Absolutely was. As were other people within the organisation in the past.
Never have been.
All right. Tim Marshall, you've been listening to this. You know the issues. What's your view?
Yeah, and I've been following both organisations for many, many years. I've seen the whole 10 minutes that you've put on your TV channel online. And I have to say that this is the way to sort things out. And I'm quite encouraged by this. And I can see that you don't think this man is a white supremacist, nor do I. I'm not going to say a plague on both your houses because I actually get where both of you are coming from. You've framed it in class terms, Mr. Robinson, and I understand that because I have some sympathy with the view that the moment you come out with a working class voice, people stop listening to what you're saying. They hear the accent, they don't always hear the words, and that's part of the problem with people smearing Brexit voters. I was a Remain voter. So I'm trying to frame it that I do get where you're coming from, and I remember you saying to Jeremy Paxman, your kids don't go to the school where I go, you don't live, and I know, I understand all that.
But
well, this is the but.
So we're running out of time. So I just wanted to get to the but.
But and if this is not trying to be patronising, but if it's not the way to do things, you did barge into someone's office in a place of work. You did shove cameras. But your guys need a bit of media training. Don't put your hand in the camera.
And we shouldn't make out that the big problem is me walking to the office. The big problem is lies in a national newspaper to slander us.
Which is the point you've made several times. So we'll leave it there. Tommy Robinson, Haras Rafiq, thank you both for being with us.